26 minutes to the top of the hour of 10 a.m. And of course, we are wrapping up the show, definitely bringing to you the different business-related topics and discussions. And of course, all this powered by Zabu, which just made your trading experience much more easy. Start 292 hash. Yes, that is the magic code. And you'll be available with options. You can buy government bonds and securities at Altex with just as little as 15,000 Ghanaian shillings. The market's opening at exactly 8:15 a.m., closing at 3:15 p.m. That is East African time. At any part of the country, any place, in the east and the west, you'll be in position to actually own a government bond. There is no excuse this time around for why you shouldn't have a side business that you do in there for you. And also the most interesting fact is that if you're no longer interested to trade, you can get your money back instantly. 2023, we gotta do things a little bit different as compared to how things have been running in the previous years. Zabu, my money, my future. Altex East Africa. Do something new. All right, now getting straight into our business on ground discussion this morning. I shall be looking at the traders in Pondwe, definitely, which is bordering Uganda and DRC Congo. Now we get to realize that the Pondwe business community retaliated. That is the need to have their fish market shifted back to the border. That is from Congo, and of course called upon government to speed up the process, citing massive unemployment. Remember, ever since the border was closed during the COVID-19 pandemic, definitely one of their major source of income was fishing, and now it was a little bit limited. The border trade, definitely like trading the fish to Democratic Republic of Congo, and now it's no longer into play. So definitely the responsible stakeholders yesterday came up to take up their grievances, to showcase their grievances, to talk about what they feel, calling for government to put up reforms to abate this, because unemployment is really at the maximum. Let's go through this. Definitely shall be returning for further discussions.
One of the biggest challenges we are facing, especially after COVID-19, is our fish market. Yes, the government has injected a lot of money in that market, but the market has remained docile because the market was taken to Congo. The Congolese have taken advantage, and our people who used to benefit directly from this market, especially the transporters, the loaders and offloaders, the mothers who used to cook food in the market, have all lost their jobs. Yes, and as you may know that Congo is a different country from Uganda, and the way they do things is not the way we do them here. Yes.
So what would you wish they would do?
Yes, the incentives we are talking about is putting low tax rates to the traders such that they are not scared away by bringing their fish here in Uganda. Southern Sudanese, the Kenyans and Tanzanians want to do business here in Uganda, but because our taxes are very high, they end up in Congo where taxes are relatively low.
What we have sorted out is the issue of the immigration department. Now people can go, they are not going to pay any money. However, we still have a short radius, because not every Ugandan is allowed to do what? To cross free. At least you must be from the border, Ukonjo West. The rest who come from far are not, they can't benefit from that gesture. That one also you need to be aware, because it will need your intervention as Minister of East African Affairs. And the issue of taxes, you are the right person, because you have been a speaker for many years, and all these laws, you are the one who put them in place. And I would also like to thank you for allowing the local people to air out their views. You came here to listen to them, not this URA migration. You know this was better than everybody. You are the one who put there to establish URA.
We have shared our issues. However, these same issues have been shared with. We presented a report before the president about the same issue, which we are waiting response to. We have hosted the Minister of Trade the Minister of Local Government here and presented the same issues. It is our hope that with those requests, plus what we have presented today, we should get a response that will be promising and bringing our people to normal. Otherwise, we are looking forward to that, and it is my fear as a leader that if the fish is not back into this market, we may have these structures not utilized. Because as I say, even right now, some of the stalls have no people in those in the stalls in use, because some used them for the fish and related items.
That's farmers, fish, of course, practicing fish farming that is within Pondwe, fish trading at the same time at the border of Congo. Joram, ever since this area, the COVID-19, since the border was locked, there has been, they have not been able to trade efficiently. And still, according to reporting here, that since COVID-19 pandemic, business at Pondwe has never come back to normal, especially dealing in fish. Actually, fish is just one of the items they deal in, but it's quite
one of the
bigger
major.
One of the maybe it's the major, because if you're even at the look at the in here, we see, of course, these like majority of the speakers were trade leaders, but fish was one of them, trading it towards Congo, and we get to realize that it's now coming, I think, to a year since lockdowns were eased worldwide. I think a year and a few months, but still, some businesses, some border, and I'm trying to really understand why in this context, why is it really happening to this extent that still borders of certain countries are limited, probably over an enemy which probably no longer exists, because at least
because now Congo is the DRC is now part of the
East African
by the way, and these are some of the things that we thought by them entering the community or being part, they're entering into the EAC would make it easier for the business community.
Yes, for the business community.
To at least the transactions to continue trade, ideally. But when you look at fish, it has actually left many unemployed,
because majority have been making money from it. Fish, transacting it in there. Now they're calling in for the government to put up reforms as fast as possible. Maybe we still see in the report here indicates that the youth women who used to work in the market in Pondwe have remained jobless since the invasion of COVID-19 pandemic, when the fish market shifted to DRC. Now the traders say before the market was shifted to the Democratic Republic of Congo, most women and youth who used to offload the fish have remained no jobs. So imagine the fishing sector, the jobs it used to provide. I think this is something that stakeholders should really look into. When such a time, when we see such incidences where if my source of income is halted or disrupted in a sense, that means I'm going to resort to other ways of getting money. Recently I was seeing, now these are the very people that they are demanding taxes from, but they are not, they are not working, and it's all coming in back to them, and some of them of course return to crime, away from evading taxes, which is
as the easiest means to at least curb this kind of level of unemployment.
That's why I have this theory that says that if a certain group of people in a country is being affected in a way, you, the stakeholders in that country, need to ensure that you strengthen security. For example, if you just to digress a little bit from this, but the point will come out. If you say that you're banning borders from town, it's high time you invest in security.
And actually, when you look at the Pondwe business, the Mpondwe business community, they actually want their fish markets shifted back to Uganda from the DRC. And they want government to at least help them speed up the process. That is why we had the Deputy Prime Minister in there to help, to receive this particular kind of, appeal from the residents in there and the business community, because they've realized that if this continues, then massive unemployment is likely to hit them up, ideally. So they want the market shifted, and until there's a lot of peace the other side, that is when they will get back
to this. Okay, maybe as we just wind up this report, we see that in March 2018, the government of Uganda secured a loan that is of 14 million US dollars to facilitate cross-border trade between Uganda and DR Congo. In doing so, the Ministry of Trade, through the Ministry of Works, constructed that is the Mpondwe border post and market. However, COVID-19 disrupted everything regarding into that very. Well, a few minutes to the top of the hour, but before we really wind up, let's take a look into our other business discussions.
Look at asking the government to make sure that it continues to include the issues and perspectives of girls and young women in all decision-making processes, because we believe the issues and the recommendations that girls and young women also bring on board are very key and important in issues of national development. For example, when it comes to issues of the budget, when it comes to issues in health sector, issues in education, we believe girls and young women's perspectives are very key if they are listened to, and if girls are given platforms where they can be able to share those issues and recommendations.
It's important that also you use your computers if you have a smartphone, because some of the things you were asking for, if you checked, you'll find that those acts are already there, some of them. But as you engage, and it is us, she's particularly the one who has been taking the lead of the acts, all of the bills which we are discussing. So we are not quiet, and we open whatever we do. We also talk about women and the young girls.
Skilling program to the district like Buyende, Kamuli, Bojiri, and other districts apart from Kampala. Because this program is already in Kampala, but we would like to extend it to even those districts, because most of the girls and young women are married. But as a result, that came as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. They got married since they wanted to facilitate themselves, because at that time there was a lot of poverty all over the world. So these girls and young women do not have any means to survive. But we believe if this program is extended to those districts, these girls and young women may get a means to survive. Thank you.
And issues, national issues concerning girls and women, I think we have done this, and we are still going to continue doing this. I informed you about the motion for skilling the girls, the young girls, which was presented by myself. The motion on school fees, which was returned back to the committee. That was another motion aimed at supporting the young women in school. I also have another motion that is pending being put on the order paper to urge government to provide vocational training at certificate level to young girls and young boys that complete senior 4. Children drop out of school, they can't go to A-level, because in some communities there are no A-level schools, and they are all there redundant, just loitering in the villages. So why don't we have the students' loan scheme scaled down to certificate level, so that these children can go and do the certificate courses, whether in nursing, whether in laboratory techniques, whether in other vocational fields. So this motion is also pending. We hope that if it is on the order paper and government appreciates it, it will go a long way in resolving the issue of the many youths who are out there in the countryside doing nothing, jobless, helpless, and they end up, getting absorbed or using drugs, and they become completely useless.
Well, very interesting insight in that discussion regarding the girl child advocates, of course, meeting at Parliament regarding so many matters being discussed, and one of them was skilling skilling programs for the girl child, and also attainance of education. Yeah, your girl child skilling, you know, I think, I don't know what's your uptake on that, how far we've gone as a country, and you know, the bigger question that I ask myself always, most especially in Africa, and some people may think I've biased towards African women, but it's not about that, but it's all about this aspect of, yes, I'm giving you all this, but what is your input in terms of creating a change in your society? You know, creating an impact in the society. That's very key, because there is you participating in my training simply because you want to participate and because it's an obligation for you to participate. But at the end of the day, because they say that communication is never complete once there is no feedback. So the feedback in this instance will be the impact.
Well, when you look at the African women kind of situation, the Uganda Women Parliamentary Association point in case here, calling for, I want to believe this is the same thing every time women are calling for girl child advocates always call for benefits. I want to understand which kind of benefits though. Education, benefits in skilling. Government, you've mentioned something while we were off air. That they have even cut-off points that are at least additional points at university.
Cut-off. Yeah, you're right.
So now you look at the skilling programs. You see, the idea is sometimes it is. I don't know how to use. I don't know which word. For lack of a better word, I would definitely say sometimes women tend to be lazy.
That's the point.
And I'm not using it as a way of trying to put them down in any way.
Yeah.
Because we've dealt with women in business. We know how a resilient woman and a dedicated woman can go.
Very.
Especially when a woman is focused on herself.
Exactly.
Because the biggest power of a woman is when a woman is not dependent on a man. That is where the strength of a woman starts to fall. Once a woman focuses on who she is and what she can achieve, that one is a woman who will not even sit down on the table and ask for any help or assistance because they know what happens after the help.
Exactly, yeah.
So every time we look at this, universities, government initiatives have always been there to support the women, and they continuously support women. The skilling programs are favoring the women. However, the issue is, the sad reality is, in the world of business and in the world of professionalism, there is no joking, or there is nobody who's going to, who's going to babysit no one.
Exactly.
And this is where most of the women, lose it. Is you are working for an organization, you are in a top office. Yes, you are in it. Now, the decisions that you're entirely making during that time are supposed to be decisions that are professional and decisions that are either going to lead to your downfall or helping you to succeed and the company. So now, sometimes women forget this because, for example, you are, yes, they've put for you platforms because they're not going, you want to have, the girl child wants to have benefits. Yes. We've put for you this cut-off points. When you go to the university, we're not going to give you different exams. Simply because, so we are giving you the same examinations.
Exactly.
However much maybe we shall be, because the world is a harsh place.
It's a harsh place
for anybody.
The reality.
It is not about gender. It is not even focused on gender.
Very true.
It hits us the same way, or even worse. Because first of all, for the men, for example, no one is going to feel emotional for you. For the women, at least, because they are women, we always have to, feel a bit emotional, sympathize and everything. But all in all I'm actually saying is that we've seen non-government organizations, we've seen international donors putting in money into these particular women, and of course empowering the girl child and everything. But to the girl child out there, once you're in these opportunities, how have you utilized them?
Perfect.
Because you realize 80%, you will realize 60% of the girl the women
into those skilling programs.
Into the skilling programs, you will see that very few. If it's 100, maybe 60% benefit. The 40% in the long run are either way disadvantaged by factors that they would have avoided.
Getting
off track immediately. They lose focus a lot earlier in the day, because you know you're into this space and then you lose focus. But a more determined woman is a deadly one. They normally say a woman who's more focused is a deadly one, because you never know what she's up to.
What she's up to, what she's thinking, what
thinking about.
Is she going to
it's just like finding a man in his late 30s and 40s having money but without a family.
Lots of questions which come in.
There are no priorities. So that means he knows his priorities and not in family. So that means you are coming in as an option. So that is another deadly person. But at the end of the day, we continue to call for the gender equality, and of course also trying to at least have a place in for the women.
For the women.
Yes. Because now, ideally, as we're summing up here, I would give you an example. In this current cabinet, President Museveni has more women in the cabinet than the men. It is very surprising. I think he's also disappointed that some of the women
which have been coming up.
That leaves you in shambles as a leader, because you want to understand, why would a woman, like if they tell you a man is engaging in corruption tendencies, it never shocks you.
You're like, because that is
men are greedy.
Actually, they say if you teach a man, you're training a dictator. It's more like it's about me.
Yeah, he's greedy. He's greedy. He wants everything. But for the women, and you look at a woman, indulging in these corruption tendencies, and you're like, it is a huge disappointment. Yeah,
very shocking. Well, 5 minutes to the top of the hour, and we've come to the end of the show this morning. And of course, hope you've been really catching us all the way from when we started. Of course, we are very grateful all the way from the news breakup at 6:30 till this very time as we are winding up. But of course, don't forget channel 394 on GoTV and channel 372 DSTV, and of course, getting us on our social media platforms at Smart24 TV on Twitter, Smart24 TV Official, that's on Facebook, and Smart24 TV Live, that's on YouTube. And this time around, you will be able to get us at whatever part of the globe you will be at, as we deliver to you the business information, both local and international. The great thanks to the entire production team, of course, still all the way to ensure that this information, the content is delivered to you very, very efficiently. I'm Andrew Barigye, and I've been with Joram Paul, so you can follow me at Andrew Barigye 94. That's on Twitter. Joram, what could be your Twitter handles?
Joram Paul Sonko.
Yeah, Joram Paul Sonko. Yeah, you catch him up in there. Definitely to engage on the further discussions regarding on any matters on smart men's business. And definitely, of course, the rains have stopped, so you better. I don't know whether some of you had already gone to work, but I think it's the right time for you to ensure that at least by now you must have started doing something anywhere. Well, till tomorrow. A very good morning.